Well, Guide Dogs for the Blind is a wonderful, wonderful organization. And without them, of course, I wouldn't have Tennille. The amazing thing about them is that they do not receive any public funding. Everything is done on donation. And these dogs are incredibly expensive. They're expensive to breed, they're expensive to raise. Most that actually are bred and start the training process won't even ever make it to being a guide because they are very, very, very picky about the traits that they need to have. So if I had to purchase a dog, I wouldn't be able to, and I would never have Tennille. And just the fact that they trained me how to use her and how to teach her new things, the ongoing support that they provide me if I have any problems, if I want to teach her new things that I'm unable to, the fact that they'll help with vet bills, so a blind person can actually have this experience with a dog is an amazing thing. They have an entire network of puppy raisers that I could never do what they do. I couldn't take a dog, raise it for a year, and then just give it back selflessly. But I'm incredibly thankful that they do that. So I thought it would be a good idea with what I do. It's the least I can do to try and give back. So if in small part what I'm doing with hiking this trail is going to raise awareness for what a guide dog can do, the unconventional things that most normal people wouldn't associate with a guide dog, will make people take note and hopefully also open their checkbooks and donate money. That's my mission. That's my goal. At any time, I would say in service, the average guide dog is going to work for maybe 6 or 8 years. That's all. That's the working life of a dog. So those of us that have dogs are going to be going back and needing another dog after we have to retire our guides. So we're talking there's needs for thousands of dogs. The waiting list just to get a match can be 12 to 18 months. And if there was more money available, maybe that time frame could be shortened. When I had my cane, being blind for me was a negative experience. The cane made me stick out like a sore thumb, and it actually, in my experience, was applied a negative stigma to me. People would either, maybe because they didn't know what to do with me as a blind person, they would stay away, or they would try to smother me. They wouldn't accept me as a person. What I've found from having Tennille is blindness is now a positive experience. People are interested in the dog. That gives me the opportunity to educate, and that's been wonderful. It really, really has. So it's the end of a 22.5-mile day, and we're sitting there in the campground. We were the only people there, just preparing, doing our chores, preparing for dinner, as I'd done, almost 80 times before. And lo and behold, a car drives up and a gentleman gets out. His name is Simon. Asked if we knew where the blind hiker was. And of course, I'm right here. So he comes over and says, I'm glad we found you, which on that day, that was his only chance to. Simon got out of the car, came over, introduced himself, and said that his wife would like to meet me. Ironically enough, it turned out that she also was blind and graduated from Guide Dogs for the Blind a little bit more than a year before I did, and she had her dog with her named Otto. So that was really, really a cool experience, because on top of that, after we started talking, she is a reporter and asked if she could do an interview with me. In doing that interview, though I've done hundreds of them so far, that interview actually being asked questions by a blind reporter was probably one of the best interviews I've ever had. Her questions, because she knows what it's like to be blind, were so much more insightful than those, obviously, who are sighted. It was a joy just to sit down and be able to relate my story from a different vantage point.
For more information about guide dogs for the blind, or to make a donation in honor of Trevor and Tennille, visit www.guidedogs.com.